We start today with the Virgo and the Integumentary System with Barbara and I, Fifi, and everybody that is here today.
Welcome to Virgo. This is going to be a very interesting and long talk, so I'm going to try to fit everything that I want to say and go to the point. For me, as normally, I try to explain in my own personal way. The integration for me is the most important, that you understand what is the energy talking about, so you can also bring it to the body. Because if I give you the information, the basic information, that it might be like a lecture, Virgo, this and that, then it's more difficult to bring it to the body if you don't understand where it's coming from, what is related, what are the interactions with the other houses. Like I say, nothing in the chart is separate or isolated. It's all connected, and that's what I always use, the axis. And this one is very important because it's connected with the energy of Pisces, with the age of Pisces, and with the energy of the beginning and the end, and the embodiment of what we are coming here to do on Earth, that is embody and get conscious. And here we go, another round of the 12 system Matias presented back in many years ago, and Virgo and the integumentary system. We already cover, I never use this picture, we already cover all the signs that are down in black, from Aries to Virgo. This is the last one, from 1 to 6, and that in the chart is called the night side of the chart, because if you put that as a clock, from the horizon, that is the line to the top, is the daytime. You see the 6 a.m., 7 a.m., noon, and the sunset all the way down on the Virgo axis. And all the bottom is called the night chart, the night part of the chart. What is the night part of the chart? First is where we are awakening or getting more conscious, and it's personal. It's all that is happening to you in your body. That's under the horizon, and it's the nighttime. And we cover all these systems: reproductive, muscular, respiratory, lymphatic, digestive, and now we go to the soul, earth element, and is the integumentary, and is the experimentation. Like all the earth element are the ones experimenting. Is that okay, Fifi? Because I remember one of the graphics were wrong. Is experimenting? Fifi, help.
Sorry, I muted myself. Yes, it's correct.
Okay. And here is the introduction of the Virgo constellation. It's ruled by the planet Mercury. This is a formal presentation. Is connected with the house, with the sixth house. You see here, like I said before, is ruled by the planet Mercury. That is also the planet that rules Gemini. So there is a difference between the Mercury that acts as a ruler in Gemini and this Mercury that is more selective and more organized. Is about information, but it's about organizing information. Then, well, I'm going to keep going. Hold on. Then the symbol is the maiden, or is the virgin. You might see the most common is the virgin, and is the virgin because it's the most high level of the body, or is the purity, and is the service, and is also connected with the spiritual of the 12th house, like symbolize the goddess. Fifi is going to talk. I decided not to talk about the goddess because I knew she was going to talk, and I didn't want to make it too long. but that's what is connected to the body and the pristine and the most pure part of the body. That is represented by the Virgin, still in purity. And then when this part of the axis moves to Libra, is when you share your body. You are in a marriage, you are in a relationship. Of course, you have sex, you procreate and things like that. But this is the symbol of the purity of the body. Is, like I say, is the earth element and is mutable. Meaning, like a Gemini, is flexible, it can adapt and it can move. And the I part of this constellation is I analyze. The part of the Mercury on Gemini is I think. And this is I analyze. So you see the difference between the Mercury from Gemini and the Mercury from this one. This is thinking, but it's analyzing. It's putting things together and making a concept or making connections in a different way than taking the information. Now it's taking the information and it's putting things together. Okay. I'm going to read. Virgo people tend to be very conscious of detail. They are very detail oriented. Remember, it's an earth element. They are drawn to being of service to others and are concerned with health and well-being. They are likely to be neat and orderly, and they are cleaning all the time, at least in some areas of their life. They try to be very precise, very organized, very clean, although they might exhibit the opposite tendency in cases where they have not yet found their guiding principles of organization. They can be very, very organized at work, and then you go to the house, like you see sometimes many doctors, because I did work for many doctors. They were amazing doctors and like doctors from Harvard. And in the house, they were the most messy disaster. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. They had maids, but still in between, it was like a disaster. So they can be very precise, organized, and methodic in some areas, but not in all areas. And myself as well, because my ascendant is Virgo, so I can see that pretty clear. So again, here is the wheel that Matias presented. You're going to go through all the areas. You're going to go to the constellation. You're going to see in which house is. And then if you have planets or if you have in which house it is. You make this process. Go to your chart, find the constellation, in which house is the constellation. In my case, is in the first house, 12th first house, and is with my ascendant. How is the constellation and the house related? Remember that we overlap the houses with the constellations. And we see if this is harmonic, like the elements are very conflicted, if it's the earth with fire, or if it's the earth with water. And from there, you make the reading, or you bring more information to yourself and to your chart and to your journey. And then if you have planets that we were talking before we started, like some people have North Node, some people have Pluto in Virgo, some people have the moon. So, and I have the ascendant. So many things can happen in that area of the chart. This is, again, that's a picture that I always use, like for you to remember. This is the part that is fixed. These are the houses that never move. And this is your own personal set of constellations that they are moving. So, for example, mine is in the first house. Somebody, like I think someone is in the 11th house, 5th house. So this is the part that is more personal. The planets also, and the aspects as well. We never talk about it because it's too much. Here's an example is with my chart. Like I say before, I have, this is a Virgo. You find your Virgo. This is symbol. You find your Virgo and you see where it's located in your chart. Matias' teaching, again, is looking at how much or how many degrees of the constellation is predominant. So mine is on the 12th house and is related to my ascendant because it's inside the Virgo. And if you see, my first house is more Libra. So you look at your chart and find your Virgo and what you have there. This is Matias' chart, and what I'm showing here is, where is it? Like in his case, the midheaven is in his chart. So there is no planet at all, but he has Virgo on the 9th house, for example, to use Matias. This is his predominant. So meaning travel, his truth. He can be more methodic, more obsessive, more trying to be neat, organized. Okay, we go back to this graphic because like each element has 3 legs or 3 aspects or 3 levels of consciousness. We are talking about Earth, right? Here is the Virgo, Earth element, and here is sharing these 3 legs with Taurus and with Capricorn. What happened with each element and each process is like it's getting more conscious. When we talk about the earth of Taurus, in here, if we remember the soul journey, in the 2nd house or in Taurus is experimenting with the senses. Then is experimenting with the mind and then with the emotions. So what happened with all that information that he got on Taurus through the senses, when it gets to Virgo, that is using the mind, here is using the senses, here is using, Virgo is using the mind. In Virgo, with all that information that he got through the senses, is gonna start putting together the information in the body and also the information in the mind, like organizing, understanding, getting practical. Like, remember when I say in the Leo house, that is the one before, when the kid starts saying, okay, I like soccer. The body, like, is not thinking, the kid's not thinking, I love soccer. It's just the body easily moving forward and feeling that is like working really good and it comes easily, and it's, of course it's an effort, but it's like it's coming naturally, it's unconscious, it's still under the horizon, it is unconscious. So in Virgo, when you realize you have a body to use, because then the Capricorn earth is a use. After you experiment, you analyze, and you realize, you come to use whatever you got on the Virgo side. You pay attention to your body, use your mind, your Mercury, and you understand that your legs are really good kicking a ball, that your arms are and your ears are pretty good following music. So you take the time, you study, you go to class or you go to practice, you get a routine. The Virgo side of the earth is approaching the things that you do, that you learn with the senses, or the things that you like, and use it as your favor, or use it as a learning process. Any question about this? I'm gonna keep going, but if it's confusing, please let me know, because sometimes I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, more characteristics of the Earth that I just talked. You have the Taurus, you have the Virgo, you have the Capricorn. The three of them are physical, practical, solid like a rock, stable, live in the here and now, goal oriented, very patient, work hard for success, one step at a time, sometimes rigid or materialistic. Of course, they are earth. They have to be solid, they have to be the base, they have to be materialistic because this is the material. And now, when I go to explain the axis, we're going to see that is coming from the other side of the axis, that is Pisces, that is the cloud, is the spiritual realm. So as an axis, it has to bring the other side to balance. So if you are all in the spiritual realm, what it comes, and like in with no conscious, your conscious is your consciousness is related to the spiritual realm, but it's not related to earth. So when you come to earth through the body, in the house number one, number two, da da da, when you get to the other side of the axis, that's when Virgo is present. And it has to be materialistic because it's the higher place where your body is expressing with mind, with discipline, with everything physical, practical, stable. And then you use all that in the Capricorn, that is the midheaven, is the house number 10. The earth signs, they are goal oriented, go getters, and don't let obstacles, more characteristics. They are not always fun and change, but it is happen. They adapt accordingly. They are stubborn, but this one is mutable because his Mercury is more flexible than Capricorn or the Taurus. They are the most stubborn. So the Virgo is more flexible and mutable because it's ruled by Mercury. That in Mercury is very talkative and open, and is not is neutral. It's not positive. It's not negative. It's not feminine. It's not masculine. The only thing it does is like transport information. Positive, logical, artistic. This is all the good part. Reliable, patient, kind, and the negative, it can be critical, stubborn, uptight, yeah, worry, people pleasing, frustrated, and all that. Again, if you, in my case, I do have an ascendant with these characteristics. If you have a moon in Virgo, this is the trait. This is your needs. This is how you are going to express through your emotions. If you have the North Node, this is what you came to learn. And you're coming from the other side, the South Node, that is Pisces. So to balance that out, having the North Node here in Virgo is letting go or using what you have in the South Node as a tool in this learning process, that is if you have the North Node in Virgo. These characteristics can be used if you have Venus in that area. How is going to be your love, your balance, your beauty, your values is going to be related to all this. So when I talk about the constellation, I'm talking about all the planets, even if you have Pluto. Like all the characteristics are going to take the color of the planet as well. Or the planet is going to take all these colors or aromas. More Virgo, it can be neurotic because it likes perfect, it likes clean, it likes on time, it is judgmental. You did it wrong, you do it this way is better. Or it can be analytical for many areas. If you are working in an office, you are the perfect employee. But if you are at home and you cannot leave anything dirty, or you have to have everything clean as a Virgo, that's not going to be very balanced. It's not going to be very pleasant to work with that energy in a house with kids, for example. It's good in the office. It's not good at home with twins. And this is the perfect picture of Virgo. Is earth, and is neat, and is harmonic, and is perfect, and is like is the expression of the, and it is holding water, that is Pisces. So these plants are the perfect example of the Virgo energy. Even when you see it, you feel, yes, it makes you relax. It's already giving you a message, and it's already acting your others, the in the access is giving you that sense of openness and connection and clean, and it makes your mind settle, than having a plan, for example, any other plan, that it can be more um, unpredictable. This one, they follow a pattern. They do things equal. They have to they need to have balance. So every time you go to your chart and you find the Virgo energy, or you have some transits on that Virgo, you think about this. This is what is normally, this is the energy that should be expressing, but sometimes, you're going to put too much water to the plant, or you're going to, let it out in the sun and dry, or you're not going to know how to work with that energy. That happen often. It's an easy plant, like a Virgo is very easy to adapt and follow, because it's predictable. It's gonna do this, it's gonna do this on this time, it's gonna do this on that time, it's gonna answer this way, it's gonna be put, you know. So this is the personality of the Virgo. Okay, here I use this picture already when I talk about Gemini. And why? Because Gemini, Virgo, and Aquarius, again, they are the only three that they have people, person in the symbolic of the zodiac, and they are all ruled by Mercury. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. By Uranus is the highest octave of Mercury, so it's Mercury in a higher level. Uranus is going to analyze as a Gemini or as a Virgo, but it's going to make it quantum. It's going to make it like the internet. The internet is not a Gemini or a Virgo. It's a Gemini and a Virgo in EI. It's like it's going to take it to a different level, but it's also information. So, and here you have the beautiful, perfect Virgin. Like if you see it, it would be related to the picture that I showed before, that is in a plant, but is bringing to the human body, is the perfection, is the balance, is the perfect hair, the perfect health, the perfection of the body. Any questions? And here again you have Gemini, I think, the Mercury, that is say I think. The Virgo analyze what you're thinking, and then Aquarius already knows everything. It's like the internet. It's like, yeah, you ask ChatGPT and it's gonna give you answers even that you don't even know. Answers that you don't even know that they can know. If they don't have an answer, they're gonna make it up. But they're gonna have an answer. And I'm here now. I'm gonna start with the weird part of the story. And this is the integration that I always talk, not only with Virgo and Pisces, it's about the whole journey. Because you cannot talk about the house number 4, that is a family, if you don't talk, or if you don't pay attention what's going on in the house number 10, that is a career, or is a midheaven, or is the what you're gonna bring to the world, the gift to the world that I always call it, and it's your job, and it's a Capricorn, is it the task, and it's the task oriented. But if you have a Capricorn or an Earth very exalted and it's going to take over the family, and it's going to take over the other house, the access, that is the fourth house, the family, and it's going to destroy the family. And then you're going to go to the house number 4, and you're going to think, why my family is not working? Why there is so much issues in my family? And you don't see that it's related to the house that is on the other side, that it can be too controlling, it can be too obsessive, it can be too what is another word, repression, because Capricorn and the 10th house or Saturn can be very perfectionist, so judgmental. So you always need to bring all the houses, not the one all on the axis, also the one that is next to the other one. For example, this this could be, this is Virgo, this area. The Virgo comes from Leo and Libra. So it's related because the Leo, remember when I say the body wants to play soccer. If you don't have a Leo house that is I am, because it's Leo, is knowing thyself, is knowing what is good at, is knowing what are the gifts. When you get to Leo, when you get to Virgo, you're not going to know how to use your Virgo energy. You're not going to use what to practice. You're going to have all that energy. If your parents, let's go back, if your parents didn't pay attention that you have this gift, and then take you to practice, take you to learn how to play the piano or whatever, it's not going to happen, and it's going to affect your mirror. That is like you're gonna see yourself through others in the house number 7. So again, I cannot talk about Virgo without talking about everything and without talking about the other side, that is the spiritual realm. So for me, it's important also because I am taking the integrative medicine, and I'm taking my life in general like that, and people then complain about me, and then people don't talk to me anymore or get mad at me because I see through, or I see more, or I see how things are related. If you do this to me or to others, it's gonna affect the other house as well. So I cannot function without integration, and sometimes it's a challenge, sometimes it's not easy because my ascendant is Virgo. So I am analyzing the chart, like, so I put all the information, and I analyze, and I dissect that if this happened and this happened, it's like a computer, and this happened and this happened, and if you do this and if you do that, this is the Virgo mind. The way that I can integrate the astrology, the way I integrate, is the way my Virgo is working on my ascendant. Is the ruler of my chart, Mercury. I'm a Gemini, Mercury. I'm a Virgo, Mercury. And then I have my moon in Aquarius, is Mercury in a higher octave. So it's not easy to see all these relationships. So when you come to me and say, I have the moon in the second house, for me, it's not that it makes sense. I can see the chart, I can see what it is, but in my Virgo mind, I integrate everything when you come to my reading, because that's how I think, and that's how I see even things that happen to me in the neighborhood, or my neighbors, or with my husband, my boyfriend, or with my friends, or even in the WhatsApp groups, the interactions. I might see things because I see the bigger picture, and I know that if something is happening in the Capricorn energy, the unbalanced part is the Cancer, the emotional, or the connection with the heart. So this is my interpretation on the integrative astrology or integrative medicine, because if I'm going through this health situation, let me see. that if I don't have this integrative mind, that I can see what Fifi is explaining, that my emotions are going to affect my body, my unconscious and subconscious that is here, the, the part that is more hidden is going to affect my body. I would go and get chemotherapy and don't even think about it. Don't even think about what happened with my parents, what happened with my sister, what part of the chart is the one that is affecting my body, and try to heal from the integrative medicine. So people are mad at me because I integrate things and I say things that other people might not see, but then they applaud I'm so brave because I do integrative medicine, when it's coming from the same version of what I can see things. I can see in a way that is always integrated. I make mistakes, of course, but this is how I function. Again, the Pisces and the Virgo axis. The others, if you remember, the other side of the veil, we are here before we enter the body. This is the spiritual realm. The Virgo is the body, is the body as a virgin, is in the most pure level that it can be. After going through the senses, going through the mind, and whatever, what I always talk about it. Let me see. Okay, and talking as that access, always the earth is related to the water, and the fire is related to the air. When you go through your chart, you're going to see that always the axes are having this dynamic. So again, if the earth is physical, the water is spiritual, right? Even if you do it through Cancer, through Scorpio, or through Pisces, it's going to be the realm of the waters, emotions, mystical, and this is the realm of the practical, of the earth, of the solid, of what is happening in the 3D. So, like on the other picture, I don't know, let me see. The Pisces might be 5D, might be 4D, but the Virgo is 3D. Come to Earth and do the work. And is work, and is health, and is the body, and is analyzing what's going on in all levels. In all levels, all this. So Virgo is related to health, is related to your daily habits, what you do from Monday to Monday, what you do in the morning, because in Pisces, there is no time, there is no limits, there is not concepts, is all the realm of the mist. The water of Pisces is mist. And then you come to this side of the chart in the axis and you bring down the limits. And I'm going to bring the integumentary system. That is the skin. And it is the limit that is going to separate you, or it's going to hold you in place, and it's going to make you remember also this is the womb of the mother. Is building your body. This part is related with this part. This is where the body is forming. See? Your body is being created, and this is the level when you are conscious of your body and how to use it and how to take care of the body. That's why it's health, it's nurses, are doctors, all the medicine is in this area. Is the area of healing. Why? Because you are conscious of the body and you use and you integrate all the tools to heal. And we were talking with Fifi if was Chiron the ruler of Virgo that many talk about if you watch some other videos. And yes, it can be the ruler, but we use the rulers planets, and Chiron is not a planet. So that's why they are not making Chiron a formal ruler of Virgo, but it is a wounded healer. It is a healer. It is a healer that is conscious of what's happening with him, with the body, with the wounds, emotional and physical, and is doing something about it. Is being conscious to do something on their own and then use it for others. So yes, I feel Chiron is the ruler of Virgo, uh, not on papers, because it's not a planet. And here again, the elements. And this is the axis. Virgo represents giving through doing. It's practical, remember. The other side is not doing anything. You are in your mother's womb, and you are meditating, or you are in a spirit, or you are in another dimension. So when you come to Virgo, is doing. It's already, you have a task. It manifests the need of feeling satisfied by helping others through work. Pisces is doing the same on a spiritual level and is connected with the flow of energy present on Earth. See, the relationship is going, the Virgo energy of Earth, take it to the 12th house and emerge them with the real world. So is the spiritual realm with the world. For this access, it's important to take time to recharge yourself and also where to put a limit in giving. They are both torn to give and take care of others. Medicine, spiritual medicine, that's why this access is so important. And this is perfect for the 12 systems, because it's exactly what we are using. All the stuff that is on the spiritual realm or in the unconscious, that is the biodecodification or other new integrated medicines with the body, that is Virgo. And it's the healing process. And this is where the psychosomatic symptoms come. I'm not going to go because it's already almost an hour. I'm going to rush. And this is a little bit of the integrative medicine that I was talking. It talks about nutrition, that is one of the houses, herbal medicine, surgery, that is the traditional, so whatever. I don't have time to talk. The Virgo and Pisces axis, again, one side is the reality, that is the Virgo, if you see, and the other one is like on the other side, looking at the beauty and the majestic of the beauty of the mountains and the rivers. And the other one is Earth. It's just I'm looking at the reality. So again, the important thing is the balance. And I put this one because this is exactly what the integration of the two sides is: discernment. In Virgo, we analyze everything and we feel everything, because the other side is Pisces, that is feeling. But the middle point of these two situations, Virgo and Pisces, is the discernment. Well, it's not going. Okay. Is the discernment. The same thing when you integrate anything that is happening in your life and you see this is happening for this and people are not seeing, is a discernment, is intuition, is senses. In this picture, you have the whole chart acting, because you have the senses, you have the soul, you have everything that talks about a person, it talks about the chart. But discernment is in the middle. It's like the whole journey is about finding the middle point of the axis and finding the balance through discernment, using the integration of the two sides. And this picture, today is a good day to die. I put it because this, for me, represents the 12th house moving into Earth. So it's a good day to die because this is the 12th house where you go when you die, and it's the one that you're standing when you are going to be born. bringing all the discernment, all the experience, and everything to start new. I'm not going to go through this. And I'm going to say this is what happened when we come to Earth from the 12th house to the ascendant to the body. This is a spiritual realm. The same is related to this one in a different way, but is related because we are coming to the body, and we are coming to the body in an unconscious way and getting conscious on the Virgo side. I'm not going to read this so I can go to the charts, but this is how the soul get to the body. Is forming in the 12th house, is connected to your mother, and is getting conscious every year, every day. This is a Dolores Cannon, beautiful writing. She find like there are a few different ways that the soul comes to Earth. I'm gonna leave it for you to read it later, so I can focus on this is our body, and I bring this picture because what really comes to the body, to our skin, this is, I put a picture like this one, like this is our skin, this is our suit to come into Earth and experience this 3D dimension. And what it comes inside is our conscious, is our evolution, is everything that we bring from the 12th house, from the cellular memories, from past lives, from the DNA of our mothers, fathers, or even galactic families. So this is the skin we get in, this is the suit. And it's alive, and it's related to the fascia, nerves, fluids, communication. And it's also, if you can see, is everything that Virgo is. Fluids coming from the Pisces, that is the circulatory system. I forgot to say that is where it is bringing all the DNA information, all the blood coming to the skin and forming the skin, because it's what is giving us the form of who we are, and it's giving us the opportunity to have a body in this form and experiment the 3D. Fifi is going to talk more about the biology of this, but I wanted to show you how the body, how our soul is connected and is contained through the body. Like when I see this, I see 12th house, 6th house, Pisces, Virgo. The skin is the biggest organ of the body, is 20 square feet or almost 2 meters, square meters. And the weight is around between 3 and 10 kilograms or 8 to 10 pounds. And the composition is 11 miles of blood vessels and 650 sweat glands per square. So, sweating glands related to Pisces. How do you detox through the skin? And I'm gonna go through this very fast because as you ever, I think I use this for the Taurus, the connection with the earth. I do go to sweat lodge. It's a Native American ceremony, and it's exactly the Pisces and the Virgo axis. Is heat, steam symbolize cleansing and rebirth. Circle shape represents unity, balance, and life cycles. Entering the lodge is like a journey into the wombs of the Mother Earth. 12th house, and then being reborn or be healing the body, because that's the main thing on a sweat lodge, is about healing. So if I'm gonna put it here, so if people never saw a sweat lodge, there are different types. And what you do, go inside and sweat. You make the skin and you sweat and you pray and you sing and you go inside. It's all dark, like in the mother's womb, 12th house, and you go there and sweat and you let the waters and the toxins and the feelings and the healing, everything together. This is how you enter. This could be the cervix or the vagina. This entering the swellage, entering the place where the mother's womb it is, or entering the 12th house. This is what happened inside. Everybody's sitting as a community. You see on the top, some of the sweat, they have 12 or 13, how do you say? Like the shape inside is like for me, it's like a chart. And I think the Lakota ones, they have 16, but this, when you see, that is for me, is like the chart. And this is what happened inside the sweat lodge. You sit around the heat, and you make your glands and your skin sweat. Let me see. I'm gonna go with some examples because I don't want to go too far. Sorry that I rush it, but it's always like that. Let me read the comments because I don't know if someone was asking or.
Yes, Connie was asking something. She said that what it means to have like well, she's I want to read to you. Say, I struggle with balancing my giving. Most of my planets are in Virgo house 1, and she wants to know also what that means to have so many planets in one house.
Yeah, I'm not going to do readings. I'm going to give some examples, and then if we have time, because I'm going to use some of the examples that it might apply to your answer, Connie. But when we have a stellium is called in one area of the house, that's the intensity or all the information that you have in that area. So I saw you have a lot going on in that area. So meaning the way you analyze, the way you filter, the way you integrate, everything that related to Virgo that I just talked in all this hour is going to be more intense for you, and it's going to be related to where, in which house you have the Virgo. So I'm going to give this example. I think it's Matias. No, it's not Matias. Okay, let's find the Virgo. For this person, is in the 4th house. So this is the overlapping that I was saying. Virgo can be, in my case, is here. In Fifi's, I think it's 5th house. It can be 11th house. So for the 4th house, what is it? Family. So when you overlap the Virgo with the family that is water, so you have water and earth. I always, when I do the reading, I explain. Use your common sense. What happens when you have water and earth? If you have too much water, what happens? You make mud with the earth. So it's gonna be sticky, it's gonna be heavy, it's gonna be, that's the energy of that Virgo in your family environment. What happens if you don't use the water that is the 4th house of Cancer? The soil or the earth of the Virgo is gonna crack, is gonna die, is not gonna give fruits. So what you have to do, you need to find balance between that earth that is Virgo and that water that is the 4th house of Cancer. And you use your common sense. It's like I love plants, so I always explain what happens if you put too much water to a plant. You kill the plant. What happens if you never put the water on the plant? So it's the same in a family, in your family environment. You use your common sense of the Virgo to see what your family needs regarding emotions. Are you too controlling that you don't let people express their emotions? That's how you, when I say in the beginning, you put together that information. Again, you overlap the information and you make statements like I'm saying. You analyze what happens if you mix the water with the earth, or in some cases, it might be fire with the earth. If you put too much, if you there is a fire and you put earth, you might turn down the fire. Or if you have fire and you put too much air, it might make the fire bigger. So when you use your common sense with the elements, it's more easy to see how you integrate those two. Now you need to know the elements of the house, what it means, and what is the energy that is playing out, in this case Virgo in the fourth house. Now, after you find your constellation and your house and you make a new information, like I say, if you put too much water on air on the soil, or if you don't put at all, and then you add the North Node. I know few here, I think someone has the North Node, or few of you have the North Node on Virgo. Having the North Node in Virgo is you came to learn all the stuff that I just talked about. Whatever is Virgo that I talk about it, you come to integrate that with the South Node that is going to be on Pisces, if you see here. You bring all the tools of that water of Pisces, all the information that Pisces is, and use it to learn how to be organized, how to be measure or need, or all the characteristics that the Virgo are. Integrating, analyzing, clean, organized, routine oriented, judgmental, because when you analyze or discernment, when you use discernment or analyze something, you're gonna say, this is good, this is bad. So it's judgmental as well. So that's what you came to learn. In this case, that is in the fourth house. See how you match all the information, because yes, it's Virgo on the fourth house with the North Node in the fourth house. So you came to learn in this life as a North Node mission how to navigate the energies of Virgo in your house environment, in your home, in your family. So again, are you too judgmental of your family? You have to learn how to be this discernment if you are too overprotective, or if you are too loose, or if you are too emotional, or if someone has, for example, Mercury in Virgo, that is already the ruler, so it's going to be very analytical. And if you have a mother, for example, that is so analytical, so judgmental, it might be me. It might be someone that he can see the whole picture, and it can be very judgmental or analytical or discernment. I don't know how to use that word here, but it can see too much, that it can be overwhelmed for others. And because it's the home and it's the emotional part, it can be too much, that it can make the other person or the others feel that are not seen emotionally, or the opposite, too much. Come, tell me what happened, tell me what you feel, like a mother that is a psychology. Tell me what you feel, tell me what you're doing, where are you going, or getting information, analyzing what time I'm gonna pick you up, very controlling. If you have the moon, for example, I think you, Fifi, is the need of control, the need of understanding, the need of things are organized for you to feel secure, calm, and that you can think, or that you can feel. Things needs to be neat for you to feel like you are in balance. In which house is Fifi?
Virgo.
Yeah, your Virgo and your moon.
My moon is in house 4 in Virgo, but my north is in 5 Virgo. It's just in the border of the
It's a little bit similar than this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like if you have the moon here, the need of control the environment or your house or how everybody feels in the house. Uh, and okay, and if your north node is on the fifth house, is the same but related. It can be related to your son because fifth house is kids, is your kids, or is how you do your creativity. It has to. I saw you. It has to be neat. You came to learn how to be neat, uh, how to show yourself as a Virgo, organized and clean and neat and beauty, and more being a Libra that is all about balance and beauty and but that's what you came to learn, as having the north node in Virgo on the fifth house, and you're doing pretty good. So I think I have some other charts, so with a different, this is mine, yeah, this is the transit, because I wanted to put this one so you see also how you read your own, because this one is the chart and this one is the transits, the what's going on today. So what you do is you find uh, your house, your Virgo, and you see what's going through the Virgo area. In my case, is the South Node. So it's information that I know. It can be related. It can be read as a karmic. Whatever is happening to me right now is something that I know from past life, and I can use it. If you see my chart, that's what I wanted to show. Everybody knows that I'm going through this health situation. So my North Node, meaning what I am learning right now, or my lesson, or what I'm trying to accomplish, is related to the sixth house, that is Virgo. So it is my health. It is my daily routine. It is everything that I just talked for an hour. So what I'm using the Virgo energy because it's on the other side, and the South Node is in Virgo, meaning I know the tools. I connect the tools from the other side of the veil, is in my field, is already integrative because is from the, is not, is, I need to use the information that is already on the field on the body. Can you see what I'm trying to explain? Because it's 12th house and it's 6th house, my health and everything that is related to Pisces is my cellular memories, what happened in my mom's pregnancy, everything that I have from my family that is on my body. This might be, I know it is. I'm learning how to heal the wounds or the process of the what is in my unconscious, in my DNA from the family, and it's related to Virgo. It can be controlling, it can be not much emotional because Virgo is Earth. You see how I'm putting together the info is complicated. And I'm not going to go through this. This is my chart, and I was thinking to show how my health process was showing up in my chart from when uh, my Saturn enters the sixth house of health here in 20. When was that? 2022, and Jupiter. So make the health of the Virgo house like louder. I need to learn how to, you know, take care of my habits, my health, my body, being conscious, being a master. Because again, I'm gonna go back to the other one. Remember that you find your constellation here is my Virgo, but my sixth house, that is Virgo, is also giving me information. So you read both. You read what's going on in the house of health, and you read where your Virgo is. So there is information in both, in the house and in the constellation. Sorry that I'm not gonna go. And this one I just put the for the people that have Pluto, because the Pluto are the generations that mostly are with us from 57 to 71, the Gen X, then the early ones, because then it comes the Gen X that is us, I mean, after 71. So these people are hardworking, the people with Pluto in Virgo, hardworking, practical, health conscious, system fixers. They like to help, they like to be on top of things, they like to take care of their body, and then the struggles, they work too much and they burn out. Then cynicism, because they can be too much on the detail and not letting pass any mistake. And then they are too neat and too picky, perfectionist. And this is the Pluto generation of Virgo. And I'm gonna finish here so I can see the charts and answer some questions. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. I almost made it. Let me see the chart. Oops. Can you see everybody? No.
No.
Okay, because I need to share my screen. Sylvia, but I was trying to find. Oh yeah, this is Sylvia. Is that your name?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I was looking for your name. Let me. How can I do? Okay, I need to share screen. And then.
You want me to do it?
No,
Oh, okay.
I got it. I got it. Okay. So. Okay, again, we find. Oops. We find the Virgo. What happened with her is so like 50-50 that it would be not easy to, it's almost half and half. I would say it's more 10 house. Let me see what is in the 10 house. Yeah, I would say that is. Well, yeah, that's the issue with Matias' way of teaching this, because then when you go to the house number 9, it would be more Cancer, and then we get the house number with Leo without a house. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So, but if you see it, let me see if I can delete this. If you see this, it's very half and half.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, let's take the 11. Virgo in the 11th house. Again, the North Node, I already talked about it. You came to learn to be analytical. You came to learn to be practical, know what you're doing, focus on what you're doing, all that is Virgo. in the 11th house, that is the future, is community, is probably how to use or be selective or be practical in community with your friends. Or it can be also because the 11th house is Aquarius, it's like trying to organize your mind. Like if you have all the information spread, like it's Aquarius or the internet, try to find and make sense of the information and put it down to be used. Because, you know, when you have the Aquarius house or the 11th house, is practical, is community. How are you going to use all that information or all that you came to learn in a way that is organized and is neat and is kind of perfect. And then you have Saturn, that is the one that is going to mark how to do it, because it's also Earth and is the perfectionist, is the director of the school, and is the organized, and is the task oriented. So it's going to bring more practicality. It's in the 10th house, but I cannot do the reading right now. It's too much information. So it is basically what you came to learn and to practice using the South Node energy that is on the 6th house, in the 5th house. That is creativity and is knowing, you already know, looks like, what the things that you like, what is your soul, what is defining you, what is your sun, what is your call, what is the area that you can bring to shine. Any question?
No, that makes perfect sense. What I have never heard anyone say is, and I really like, is about the Aquarius and the information. That actually struck a chord with me right now. So I'm gonna work on this. This is quite interesting. I've never heard that kind of link, and it will
Yes,
make perfect sense.
always link the sign with the house. That's how you overlap and you make a new, like I always say, you make a shake in a
Mhm.
you put in a blender Virgo and Aquarius and see, and the North Node, and see what happens.
Mm.
And that's your personal touch, you know.
Mm. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here. Sorry everybody, because it's almost an hour and a half and I don't want to extend it too much. Sorry for the other people that are waiting for the reading. But it's kind of clear. It was, yeah, it was
Yes,
clear,
yes,
kind of.
it was. Yeah, it is. It resound, I think, for
And
a lot of people here have something in Virgo, so I think it's, at least to me, it's a
yeah,
lot.
it gave you,
Yeah.
okay, good. Okay, thank you everyone. Again, if you have any questions about the astrology, reach out in the group because it helps everybody. And now we're gonna pass to Fifi.
I think this system is very touching to me, especially because, like we were talking, I have Virgo and as a North Node, like many of you, and for me, this North Node, I feel like a lot of people that are in the therapeutical work or are aligned with their spirituality tools that come from Pisces are now trying to make a practical use on the Virgo node to give to the world everything that they have been not just learning through knowledge by but also by experience and by wisdom, and also from our ancestors. So I feel like this system, at least from my perspective, talks to a lot of us in this community, because is bringing to the world our spiritual tools in a practical way. I put this image of Ceres. I think is how you pronounce it in English. Virgo is the Virgin, but Ceres is also The Mother Earth is the goddess of agriculture from the Greeks. Actually, from the Greeks were Demeter, and Ceres was from the Romans. But when we are going through the connecting the energies of the Virgo and the ruling planets, and also the integumentary system, we will going to see how important and how it connects this Ceres archetype, because Ceres is also the archetype of a mother, connection with nourishment, because she was the goddess that brings the food, the agriculture, connected also the bonding with their kids. And this is also very important to connect that with the touching on the skin, how we have conflicts sometimes that are related to this contact, and also the maybe struggling with the abandonment of our mother figure. So we're going to start talking about more about that when we get to the system. So here I'm just going to go fast with that. This is the basic structure that while we go through at the end, we're going to do a small practice or like meditation. And if there is sometimes, we're going to have some times for questions. I start this my presentation with Asclepius or Ophiuchus. I don't know if some of you know, but this is one constellation. Actually, it's a constellation between Scorpio and Sagittarius. And when I was connecting with these energies of Virgo, for me, Virgo, of course, is really connected to the therapists, right? The doctors, like the people that take care of the health. And Asclepius is the archetype or like the representative of the medicine, right? Is this men holding the serpents or the serpent on the staff, and that's where the medicine symbol comes from. The story of Asclepius is really interesting because he was raised by Chiron, and Chiron is the Centaurus. Chiron is the constellation now. Well, they said that is now like related to Sagittarius. At least this is what I read. But if there is something different, just Barbara, let me know. But on the mythological stories, I think it gives me a lot of comprehension, this connection between Asclepius and Chiron, because Chiron is this, it was the immortal. He was the son of two titans, and he was wounded, and because he was immortal, he couldn't heal himself. So he was the healer that was with the wound that he couldn't help himself, but he was helping others. So Chiron taught Asclepius all his knowledge about medicine, and he become that figure of the medicine. For me, it's really interesting when I've seen this picture, because I connected and talking about information and energies, for me, is what it makes sense to you from my practice, which is the therapeutical coaching, accompanying people or entrepreneurs that want to manifest their vision, connecting the spiritual part, the emotional part, and the body part. This makes sense to me because I feel like the connection that this is not random, that he is in between Scorpio and Sagittarius for me. I just make that connection. Maybe it's just nonsense, but it makes sense to me, that how we come from Scorpio, when right now we're doing Virgo, and then we're gonna go through all, Scorpio. We didn't get there yet, but the Scorpio is the sign of the death and transformation. So to go from the death and transformation, and then the next one is Sagittarius, which is IC, right? It's like once you're being in darkness, in the dark part of your soul, after some struggle in your life or something that wake you up and see the light. of course, in the middle, it needs to be a therapy. It needs to be a healing. It needs to be something that take you from this dark transformation, deep moments that are represented by Scorpio through the light, right? So for me, this image and what Asclepion means and what that serpent also is there for me is very important. The serpent actually, because this is two constellations, as Ophiuchus or Asclepius is one constellation and the other one is serpents. So for the Greeks, the serpent or the snakes were not just the beings that are connected to the earth, because they are like slithering right in the earth, underworld too, but also sacred beings of wisdom and healing, and actually resurrection. And this brought me to this image that I found and that information about the Asclepian temples. These were healing temples in Greece. And that temple, actually, what they were doing, it was like they were accompanying people to go through this kind of cleansing, not just of the body, because they were like thermals, I think they call it, like places where you just you take care of your body, you sweat. So Barbara, when she was talking about the sweating, this was part of that Asclepian temples that they call it the therapeuta of Asclepius. So the word therapy came from them, from him, that means one who serves the gods. And after that, later on, it becomes someone that heals or help other people healing. But in these temples, they were not just taking care of the body, but also of the spiritual, right? The healing. They were accompanying people, putting in these chambers, and they were. I thought it was really interesting when I read that. I didn't put it here, but I will tell you that they were laying down people in these rooms to go to sleep, and the connections for them was like their own healing through dreams or connecting with gods. And in the floor of these rooms were serpents. Obviously not venomous serpents, but the serpent was this very powerful archetype or symbol animal that take us to transformation. I was thinking like how interesting is that we actually don't know much about Asclepius and the constellation, and I'm like, this is the key for me. Like I said, everything comes from my perspective or what it connects to me. And right now, of course, I'm connecting with what I'm doing right now, which is all these therapies and all this healing and accompanying people to find their healing, right? So I thought that was very interesting that how hidden was that, like how demonized was this serpent, the same way of like really recognizing that this is maybe, I don't want to say the key, but maybe a key to connect ourselves with our own healing that comes from our ancestors, from all, not just our ancestral memory, but a cultural memory, and probably, come from millions of like year of evolution that we are like healing and like evolving. But it's very important to tap into that, to connect with that healing in this moment right now when we are going through this change of the energies from Pisces era to Aquarius. So the rulers of Virgo, as Barbara was explaining, I was connecting a lot, of course, with Chiron, but I knew that that for the astrology, Mercury or Thoth is the ruler of Virgo. But then it makes sense to me when I put them together, because of course here Mercury is not talking like in Gemini. Now it's not just thinking and communicating. Here in Virgo is discerning. Is about making this alchemy of purifying that information. But when you put together, or when you connect information and healing, this is therapy. This is to go through this therapeutical accompanying people through therapeutical process. For me, well, it makes perfect sense. So it makes sense to me, and I think that I take Chiron, of course, as part of these energies of Virgo, because in this moment I realized that when you just discern information, when you are trying to comprehend what information I have, not like from my past life, from my mother, from my father, from my tree, of my family tree, you need to start making that discernment. You need to start separating what I have that is useful to me, what I inherited from them, and what things I are not useful anymore, or how I can use it. And that's Virgo. It's how I use in a practical way that information, right? So Virgo, in this part, analyzes with Mercury, but also heals with Chiron. So the wounded healer, we're talking about that. This is Chiron, so represent our immortal wound that can never heal, but also at the same time, this is the potential that we have, or the capacity to heal others, or accompany others to their healing. And I think every of us, of course, has a Chiron. Chiron was the first wound of Chiron was not being wanted from his dad or from his mom too. He was raised by Apollo, which is the sun god, and he taught him all about medicine. And he was accompanying people. He was healing other people because he had that wound. So we need to, I think I will suggest everybody to really observe your wounds, because this is the way how not just like get stuck on the victimhood of like what this happened to me, whatever it is, if it's like a disease or is like an emotional wound, is about how I can use it, right? Like how can I just heal it, and not just heal it. If I heal it, or you also are healing others, and especially your own tree. So I'm gonna go very fast with that. This is just the structure that I always use. This is what everything Barbara talked about. Like we see where we have Virgo. Virgo is the house 6, is the Earth, and I put here as the planets Mercury and Chiron, because this is the perspective I'm putting here for my own personal, integration. And yeah, the energies of the sign is analytical, practical, also discernment and precise, being optimized, make also a way of using all these energies in a practical way is the thing that was for me the most important energy of this Virgo. So she went through all that, Barbara, and this is just like you have, if you have your charts, you can, fill it up. I'm just gonna go through that very fast. So today we're doing the integumentary system that are related to experimentation and Earth. And here I will start like talking and connecting the energies of Virgo with the integumentary system. It's always hard to say it. So the integumentary system is the system that actually in our bodies are our skin, our nails, our hair, our glands. But what this system talk is about refinement and boundaries. It's like Virgo, right? Virgo is the sign that do all this discernment, and we do that through our body with our skin, especially because this is our biggest organ. So it's about refinement, hygiene, also taking care of the hygiene. Actually, hygiene, now we are like, okay, it's being clean, but actually this in the past, in like for the Greeks, this was the way of being healthy, right? Because keeping your body clean in every way, not just at the outside, but also what we eat is what it takes us to being healthy. How to purify our bodies too. with all this cleansing, cleaning, sweating. It's also about purifying the body. And the order that we put that also to maintain this health in this environment, and not just in our bodies, but I think in our environment, closest environment. The element that rules this sign and this system is Earth, but here Earth is not like in Taurus that is like constructing something. Is about making something refined. It's the earth that is refined, is organized, is pure, is practical. Well, we do that with that. We give a structure with that too, with this element. So it's we see also the evolution of the different ways of the element, how it evolves through the 12 systems. So the evolution of the soul arc here, we use I use the same slide for Leo, but what I wanted to show you here is that how we connect and we go from Leo, which was the expression of the self, the creativity, right? We talk about the projects, how we recognize what we are in a way of like, and what we can do in our own personal and unique way through the digestive system, because the digestive system is also take all these nutrients and know, okay, now that I have all that, how I can actually refine it, right? How can I identify what is useful and what is not useful, and how can I use everything that I discover that is unique, right? And how can I put it to the service? How can I give it to the others in serving? So it's the journey where this individual moves from being a self-centered expression into the alchemical process to refinement. So is where we can also ask ourselves, how do I organize or improve what I am? How can I use these tools, this power, this uniqueness way of doing things, and how can I make it practical to others? How can I give it to up service? And how can I use it efficiently? And this is very important because everything is all in the chart, of course, has an evolution. And if you don't have this refinement from this expression of your own creativity, your own self, your own shine, then if you don't have that discernment, this cleansing, this moment of you separate what is useful and what is not, how you gonna go into Libra, into the mirror partnership? This is very important, because then we're gonna, like Barbara said, we're gonna reflect in the others things that we didn't refine, we didn't clean, we didn't discern. We're gonna see it reflected in the other. So this is, for me, Virgo represented by Ceres, is to separate the wheat from the chaff. This is very, like, I heard it all the time in Spanish, and I didn't know that this is in English, but it's interesting. Chaff, I learned a new word. Is the process of discernment. Is the part where when we decided also from the therapeutical process of what of everything that I'm seeing is useful, it nourished me, what lessons I learned, what tools I can use in a different way than my parents or my grandparents or my tree, use it in a different way, maybe to heal, to destroy something, but doesn't mean that I'm gonna use the same tool in that way. I can decide also and discern, okay, this not just in a judgmental way, because like Barbara was saying, sometimes Virgo can be very judgmental, but it's about not judging in a way of like making the other responsible, but just look in front of you, what is this information, these tools that they're nourished, there's not more practical for me, doesn't nourish me, is not creating anything, but I can decide it to, first of all, like give be grateful for our inheritance to have that tools, but we can decide how we're going to use it now. So this drama is not useful for me anymore, I leave it, right? And I just take what it is going to make me keep growing and evolving. So Ceres here um, uh, is very important when I see this image, because um, like Barbara was saying, it makes more sense to me now when she was talking about Pisces and Virgo. Pisces is the wound of the mother, but Ceres is also this connection with motherhood, right? With the nourishment. Actually, the integumentary system also rules, well, one of the organs that are part of the integumentary systems are the glands and the mammal glands. And this is very interesting because it's how the mother gives the nourishment to the baby. And I connected right away with this skin issue that I have, and I was for years trying to understand that, but I understood that it was a connection with my mother, and now it makes more sense because when I was born, she couldn't like feed, like give me, feed me. She was like after postpartum, she had some issues, so I was separated from her, and I now realize that this has it, and of course, is the connection, not just the physical connection that has to do with the skin, right? Because I didn't have her clothes, but also the emotional connection, because I actually become a coach, accompanying people, because this is one of the biggest healing in my life that I was doing. It was connecting to my mother information, and in healing that connection emotionally helped me also heal physically. So here, like we talked before, medical astrology is different from the 12 biological systems. For the medical astrology, Virgo rules the spleen, abdomen, intestines, and alimentary canals. But for the 12 systems, is the integumentary system. So this system is our wall, like is the biological sieve, is how we separate and separate like the things that are good for us with the ones that are harmful. So I like this image of like the skin next to the wall, because sometimes we don't realize that we are protecting ourselves through our skin, right? And emotionally we also do the same thing. Our skin is the organ that sends and filters, and also is a barrier of discernment. When we see a little bit more close to the parts of this system, we will see how we develop a lot of like conflicts that are connected to feeling dirty or being impure, or the contact. Some people just are, for some people are very, they feel very uncomfortable even if someone touched them, and we need to put consciousness about what happened. There is an information there that make us react in this way, right? Or some people that feel like they need more contact, right? So the skin is the largest organ, and also is the selection and protection, is our connection to the outer world, is the organ that is the most connected to the outer world. So here we see just the biological functions, and sometimes I like to put it the biological function and the symbolic, because the body is literal, and sometimes when we have something biological showing us, symbolically is almost the same. So just a few things here that you can see it later. I'm not going to go through all of that, but then the biological function, of course, protect our body from the external environment, infections, bacteria, and also the element, right? So regulates the temperature, acts as a barrier, and enables sensations, and also help us support the immune system, because it protects them from the disease, and also stores fat, water, and glucose and vitamin D. So in the symbolic function is our barrier, against, between self and others, contact and separation, the protection and exposure, the purity and contamination, sensitivity to environment, and identity at the surface level. This is the pure biological part. I just wanted to always put it here so you can later, if you want, go through every single part. And if you have any issue with losing your hair or skin issues or glands, you can go through and see, okay, what are the parts of this system, how it's connected to the Virgo energy. And then in the decoding bioneuroemotion, we will see also what are the some issues or like conflicts that emotional conflicts that can rise from this. So this, I'm gonna go just fast. I just wanted to mention that the skin, it has 3 different levels. There are the epidermis, dermis, and the hypodermis. And here you can see their functions. Then also the nails that protects our fingers. The hair also protects our body from the elements, like our eyelashes protect us from dust. It's the same thing where the hair in our nose. And the glands are like all the sudoriferous glands, the ones that secrete sweat through our skin. The sebaceous gland, they are the ones that also bring the oils in our skin. And also like the earwax, right? Also, this is a way of protecting ourselves, our body from the out elements. And the mammary glands are the part that I was like surprised, and I didn't know that are connected to this system, but it makes sense to me, of course, also with energies of Virgo. And like Barbara was saying, like it's also interesting to see how Pisces, which is an element of water, is connecting to this Virgo in their axis, because of course this our skin also secretes waters, and is also the emotions, and sometimes is how we feel things, to the outer world. And the emotions are really connecting to this, to that organ that expresses. We express a lot also when we feel like sometimes the goosebumps. Our emotions are connected, the waters, to this integumentary system as well. So the system that can reflect this process of becoming comfortable in our own skin. Sometimes we ourselves don't do that. Connecting to Virgo is also like this judgmental, trying to be perfect, trying to do everything like well, overanalyze. And sometimes we are doing this to our own selves, right? Like over criticize. Maybe can be an information from our ancestors, our tree, but sometimes we are also over criticizing, right? Being the Virgo with our own self. So these symbolic parts of the integumentary system that are connecting to all these parts, like a skin, the skin connects with the boundaries, right? The identity also of the surface, and our emotional boundaries. The conflict that can raise when we see any skin problem. There is a lot of list. The list is long, but I'm just gonna I put here just one for each part. For example, in the skin is about feeling invaded or disrespected, or maybe feeling dirty. It can be memories of the past, or can be memories when you were a child, or can be memories of your tree, right? That you don't even have conscious about that information, but through your body, through your skin is giving you that information, to why not to suffer it, but to take care of it, to make consciousness of that, and tap into that information and heal, not just physically, of course, emotionally, and heal the memory of that conflict on your own tree. So here, like I said, can be conflicts of feeling invaded or not putting boundaries or being disrespected. And the question that you can raise up here will be, where do I not feel comfortable in my own skin? Can be maybe just one part, right, that you don't feel comfortable, one part that you don't like to be touched. So putting all this consciousness through the body is also a way of connecting with that information emotionally, and with the information of your own tree. The hair is about the identity, the projections that you have out there. It's about your personal image. Sometimes can be feeling unprotected. For example, I have a friend that she lost her husband, and when she lost the husband, she just lost uh, half of the hair on her hair, like half of her hair, like she lost, and it is because emotionally she felt unprotected. Her husband was her protector, and it was amazing to me to just make this connection. And you feel or that you are losing that protection, or you're losing this strength on you, or you have this you don't feel attractive anymore. You have all this self judgment about yourself. So the question here can be, how do I feel about how I am perceived, and how I perceive myself, especially, and trying not to be over judgmental. Well, our nails are the ones that help us defend ourselves in the symbolic way, the precision and like the control also, like Barbara was talking about Virgo, sometimes being too controlling. And this remind me of this. So feeling fragile or unprotected too, because everything, on the system is about protection and how we can protect ourselves from the outside world. So one question can be, how do I defend myself in subtle ways? If you see any problem with the nails, and in the glands is related to the emotional release. So the symbolic theme is about emotional expression and release through the body, right? Like all these issues, acne, that teenagers go through, that is also very related about their own the way how they see themselves, how the way they are transforming, and also the judgment, probably the information that comes with that, the pressure of not being someone, and the pressure of the environment also, right? Like how I perform, how they see me. I have a teenager boy, so I know what I remember myself, but I also have seen it right now, how he goes through, from being a boy, and now a teenager. It's like now it's about all the projections that he show, right? How he looks, and that pressure is also reflected in the skin through these glands. What pressure I'm trying to release or contain. This is a phrase that Matias said, and I really love that image from Alex Gray. He's a great artist. I really love it. And for me, this image also communicate the importance of like the healing and what is the healing. So he said, do not try to heal the disease. Try to walk the path that the disease is showing you. The disease is just a map. The healing is the journey. And this I've seen, and I walk this path in my life, and actually, when you get into a point that you can bless your wound, that you can bless your disease or the problem that you're going through, is when you comprehend that this was the teacher, the master, the one that showed you the path. And I remember also seeing also this image that Matias was talking about, healing and the heel. And well, there is another mythological stories about Achilles, which actually was Achilles was, or Achilles, I don't know how you say it in English. Achilles was raised by Chiron, and he taught him too many things about medicine. And but he have the heel, right? His heel was the weakest part of his body. But healing also connected with the heel is also to be in your position, right? It's like to understand where you're standing. For me, this is my interpretation. And for me, it makes sense to me when he talk about the heel, because for me these are the ancestors. To do a healing process, not tapping into your ancestors and your tree, um, for me it's like kind of walking without, it's kind of like walking forward and sometimes getting lost and or getting blocked or getting stuck, or you stop because you need to go in retrograde, you need to go backwards, you need to see what happened in the past to give you that momentum, that give you that power to continue. You need to see what happened in that tree of yours to understand also, and to heal through the experience with your parents. And this is where I Bioneuroemotion show me this importance of like connecting, uh, and receiving the information and trying to see it from a different perspective. Connecting with the parents, actually, when I see Ceres, or the Virgin, the image of of this woman, between Leo and Libra, which is Leo is, right, this creative power that I recognize myself, my ego, what I am, and what I want to give it to the world, right? And then Libra is the other, me and the other. In the center, for me, like this Virgo, makes sense to me, connecting to this therapeutical work, because I am like how important is to, in these moments of realizing what information I have, you normally don't want to talk, or I've seen it, right? And experience it. You think that it's no connection with your parents, but actually the parents are the key. And to have the image of this woman, the Virgin Ceres, which Ceres is the representation of the Demeter and Persephone connection, right? It's the mother that let the daughter go. Well, some Hades took her, but she was, let go this woman, let go your kids to be with another, right? In that moment, for me, is very key with this. With this archetype, to understand that when you are going through this work, inner work, connecting with your tree, always remember that in your mother or in your father, you have that key, to start like seeing your shadows and observing what did you receive from them, and how you're projecting that in your partners or others, because this is what happened. If you don't take care of that information, you're gonna start projecting the issues that were born in the family and in that environment to another environments in your life. It can be with your partner, it can be in your work, because at the end the work is the same thing. For the subconscious, your work is your house, and your boss is your dad or your mom, and your coworkers are your siblings. So from Bioneuroemotion is where we observe these perceptions, these beliefs, these patterns of emotions that we inherited, and we can ask these questions are related to the Virgo and the integumentary system. What boundaries I have not expressed clearly, what would happen if I allow imperfections in my life, when did I feel rejected or separated from someone important? Do I associate closeness with pain or safety? What does being perfect mean to me? And what emotions I'm trying to contain? And here the all was probably over criticizing themselves, the self image, or the performance, the analytical way of like, being judgmental. All these energies are reflected in I'm never gonna be enough. right? I'm not enough, I can do more, because Virgo is this, right? Like the energies of Virgo is not, no, it's not perfect, I can do it better, I can do it better. But when is enough? So being conscious of that, connecting with yourself and saying, I'm now, I accept myself for who am I, and I'm enough, and I can always do better, but not from that perspective of criticism, but just in an evolutionary way. In this, from the 12 system, we also observe the space and time. So the space is the earth sign for Virgo, earth element, sorry, for Virgo. And so we can ask these questions, where, on which circumstances in my life I live this earth, or the energies of this Virgo. When I feel rejected, or when I feel exposed or vulnerable, or when I feel fragile or unprotected. And in the time, we need to observe in what stage on my life I'm living these energies, if I'm expressing it or experimenting or integrating on transcendence. And the person here to observe, if you want to see it as, okay, if I cannot see something in myself, I can observe it through another. This is your partner or your ex. So you can see the emotions that are connected with all these energies of these systems. And the transgenerational patterns, you could see and observe if one of these, there are, like I said, there's always many, but if one of these things are present, probably you need to observe it through these Virgo energies or this integumentary system. Or if you have an issue in your body connecting to the system, probably you can observe it if in your family you have these patterns, like who in your family had rigid standards of perfectionist, who experienced rejection, separation, or abandonment, what belief about appearance or cleanness were passed down, who had to maintain control or safe or to feel safe, what emotional patterns am I repeating unconsciously. So this is stories about conflict between wanting to be close or needing protection, or maybe touching is not clean, a lot of like beliefs, right? Like how relationships should be also. A lot of taboo on that also can generate skin issues. I've seen it in with people in my people that I could accompany. Unconscious rejections to the self, or over criticism and boundaries. So I just listed here some practices that I always like to do at the end. So in this practice that are connected to this system, we can put consciousness about feeling safe in your own skin, and you can inside can be connected with this allowing the support of yourself, release what it doesn't belong to you. With the self-acceptance activation, we can talk to our body and say, accept my body as it is. And also we can put consciousness that the touch can be safe and the contact can be gentle. And all of that connecting to also the boundaries that we put in our lives that sometimes are good, and sometimes like we need to stop like judging ourselves about is not good to put boundaries, or you put too much, right? Or you are like, you have a wall and you don't let anything get close to you. This is very important to connect with your body, with this skin and this system. And I will invite you to just do this with me for like just to close with this taking consciousness. You can close your eyes if you feel it. You can touch your skin. I will recommend to touch your skin in any part that you feel, and repeat with me for yourself and said, I live comfortably in my own skin, accepting my natural imperfection. because I am perfect the way I am. Connect with your skin, with the touch, remembering any memory that make you feel unsafe, make you feel scared. If there was a touch that was not feeling good for you, not with judgment, just comprehend that every single experience that came to you through your skin is a tool that you can use for your own healing, that you are protected, that the protection comes from you, from inside you. You can hug yourself, accepting who you are, exactly the way you are. And also you can open yourself to the world with clarity, with coherence, knowing that everything that you project out there, are you gonna receive it in the same way, with safety, with love. Connect with your Virgo, with your healing, with your wound. Accept your wound is your teacher. And thank you everybody for being here, for sharing with us.
Thank you. I have something to add before we go to the questions. If someone have more questions, because when you were talking and talking about the skin and the protection and the feelings and everything that you said, that it was so beautiful. I also got the link. I made the link with the physical abuse and with the sexual abuse that is stored in our skin, in our body, and how it's linked with the cellular memories, and how we bring that cross boundaries, that it can be physical, sexual, or any type, or even emotional, to the other areas, and how the healing is so important when we move forward through the houses and we get to the dark night of the soul of the 8th house, and then the process of healing that is on the, like you just say, between the 8th and 9th house with Ophiuchus and the other one that I don't remember the name. But I wanted to bring that up because it's so common in many and many of us lives, all this abuse that is stored in our skin and in the cellular memories that we are, and how important is the process of healing as we go. So thank you, Fifi, for your beautiful sharing.
And thank you so much, every one of you, for your questions, for being here, for your presence, because we're going through all this as a collective too, all this evolutionary path. Good
See you next
weekend.
one. See you for the Libra.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.